Hello and welcome to HG Movie Talk. I am your host, Dean's Beans, and as always, I'm joined by my well-meaning but slightly annoying co-host, Fluffy Duffy. Hello.
Why do you have why do you have to be so mean to me all the time?
I was continuing the
Just
joke.
because you're better at me than Fortnite doesn't mean you have to be so mean to me all the time.
Um, I was being really mean to Harlan before we started recording, and then normally in my intro I say something really nice, and I was like, I can't really like that would
He
be a bit.
called me a silly Billy.
I did. That's exactly what I called him. Anyway, today is episode something of the Silver Lining. A
Yes,
little
indeed.
series we like to do within our podcast here. What is the silver lining, Harlan?
The Silver Lining is a series we do where we take a bad movie that we consider bad, and then we take the silver lining from that bad movie and use that to make it into a good movie.
Yes, today is actually a momentous occasion for us. This is
Really?
episode 25 of The Silver Lining.
Wow.
We've seen 25 bad films,
75 more, and then we're done.
and then we can die happy or,
Yep.
or just very upset because we've seen so many bad films. Today, as you guys can see from the title, we are talking about Super Mario Bros. And I know what you're asking. Hey, Dean and Harlan, put that down, put that down. Hey, Dean and Harlan, how did you watch a film that hasn't come out yet? Are you guys like invited to stuff? The answer is yes, but we're not actually talking about that film.
Wow, good bit.
Yeah, I lost the words in that sentence halfway through, and I was hoping
Uh,
you were going to pick it up.
oh no, I was just wanting to see where you're going with it.
Anyway, no, we're talking about the Super Mario Bros. Film from 1993.
And for people who don't know what this movie is, that probably makes sense because if you live in America at least, you can't rent it or stream it anywhere. It is off the face of the planet in
Which
the
is a
US.
bit, that's interesting. It's on Amazon Prime here for free.
Yeah, so I had to buy the physical copy of it.
LOL. Just like you had to buy Holmes and Watson when we watched that.
No, I didn't.
You had to buy rent it, didn't you?
Oh yeah, I think I had to rent it.
Yeah. I had to buy Space Jam when we watched that.
That's rough. But that's on sale everywhere though.
Yeah. So,
It's an
Harlan,
awful DVD, by the way.
is it?
Awful DVD.
It is 1993. It's not like they're releasing like recent versions of that film either.
That's true.
I'd like they're not in production anymore, I'm sure.
I'm
Okay.
trying to see where it's distributed, but I can't tell.
Well, while you read that, Harlan, do you want to give us a plot summary of this film?
Oh gee. Would I love to? Okay. So I made like I I knew you were going to ask me this question, so I was like, okay, I gotta have a plot summary ready
Yeah.
for this occasion. And it ended up being so long. So I think the plot of this movie is so strange.
Yeah.
It's so peculiar. Anyways, so the movie opens with this mysterious lady leaving behind an egg at like a church. We don't know what the egg is, but when she runs away, she is kidnapped by King Koopa.
Hmm.
King Koopa is not a Koopa, it's just a dude with bleached spiky hair. And then it turns out that egg was actually a baby. And it's like, oh my god, it's a baby. Then we are taken into the future where we introduced the Plumber brothers, Mario and Luigi. However, Daisy is investigating dinosaur remains in Brooklyn, as they are most commonly found. And a rivaling plumbing company is trying to kick Daisy out of the site because they got pipes in there.
Yeah.
Then Luigi runs into Daisy at a payphone where they set up a date at the site. Then, while Daisy and Luigi are at the site, the rivaling plumbing company sabotages all of Daisy's work by loosening some pipes. But then Mario and Luigi are able to fix it, but Koopa's goons knock the two of them out and kidnap Daisy. And then they go through this portal in the rocks. They go through this portal in the rocks that apparently goes into a different dimension. And they want Daisy because when she was left behind as a child, she had a rock necklace. And they really want the rock necklace. But then Daisy's kidnapped, and so Luigi and Mario run after her, and they go into the alternate dimension, which is an alternate dimension where dinosaurs never died.
How was the alternate dimension created?
From when the meteor hit the that killed the dinosaurs, it actually just created two different dimensions.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay, you've done about
Anyway,
the first half hour of the film.
yeah. Um.
You could breeze through the
So
rest, I think.
okay, let me see how quickly I can breeze through the rest. They lose the rock. They figure out the fungus is actually what's the word that I use here? I use a big Harlan word, sentient. The
Yeah.
fungus is sentient that is across the entire alternate dimension. King Koopa is devolving people back into Goombas. And Toad is turned into a Goomba. Um, but then when Mario and Luigi are kidnapped, no, that they're arrested, and then they break out and they devolve King Koopa just a little bit. Um, and then it turns out the fungus is actually Daisy's dad. He was like the first devolved thing.
Yeah.
Um, and then blah blah blah. They get the rock back. They break into King Koopa's lair. They fight. King Koopa's wife is actually able to put the rock back into the meteor, which when that happens, it combines the two worlds. But then Luigi is able to plumb it out,
Mm-hmm.
and then the movie's over. Oh, and King Koopa is devolved into goo. I forgot that
Yes.
part.
Yes. Okay. Before we get into our thoughts on this film, I just want to talk about something about to do with our podcast as a whole. So for those of you who don't know, every week Harlan and I are contractually obligated to do one thing once a week, and that's do a silly Italian accent. And I just want you try your hardest because I think it might be a struggle this week to figure out how to fit that into this film about Mario.
Mm.
Okay. So when you figure that out, how to fit it in, let me know because we need to make it seamless, like somehow link it to whatever we're talking about. But anyway,
Hey, it's me, a Mario.
no, that wasn't Italian. That was New York.
Oh, that was
We'll try again later. Let's just talk about the film for now. Um, what did you think of this film overall? Or do you want me to go first? No, you go first.
okay. It this might be a hot take.
Okay, that's filling me with hope. Go on.
I knew this movie was nothing like Mario.
Mm-hmm.
I knew going into this movie that I should not be expecting anything involving the character of Mario.
Yeah.
And with that in mind, I, it wasn't it wasn't horrendously bad.
Can I give you my review of this film?
Yeah.
Watching this film, I derived the same joy from watching this film than I did watching Batman and Robin. Because that film has horrible versions of Batman and Robin and Mr. Freeze, but in some ways it's so cheesy and so funny and so dumb that I had fun watching it. And I felt the same watching this film in parts because I think, although they're nothing like their counterparts, if we just forget that for a second, I think the characters work. I just think the plot and the world building is off. And that's why this film
Yes.
doesn't work.
I think I agree with you. However, I really like the old Batman movies and I really like Batman, so I
Mhm.
can't get on board with Batman and Robin.
Yes.
I have a great distaste for that movie. But this movie does kind of fit in the Batman and Robin vibe of the 90s of just
Yeah.
so awful.
If this wasn't okay, I've got a question.
Yep.
Then we can start talking about the good stuff. If this film was called something completely different and you changed the name of all the characters, do you think it would have more attention?
It's a good question. Yes, I do.
I think it would be just a weird little thing that everyone's like, oh, do you remember that film from the 90s? I used to love that when I was younger.
Yeah.
Just one of those weird little films. Because it's a weird film.
Because
Like,
if I showed you this cover and I covered up the Mario name, right?
hmm.
no way would you be able to tell me this is a Mario movie.
Yeah. I mean, they're wearing red and green, aren't they? Or are they not in that one?
Yeah, you can barely tell though.
Oh, okay. There are other versions where it's more clear.
Yeah,
Like if
but
I, yeah, like that.
oh yeah, that is way more clear. But
Yeah. Anyway, what do you want to talk about some good things in this film?
sure. Um, I I like the use of like the puppets they use in this.
Yeah.
I thought it was kind of cool.
Hmm.
Like the Goombas and
Yeah.
the Yoshi.
Hmm.
Don't like Yoshi, but the
It
puppets
looks
were
good.
cool.
It looks pretty good.
Yeah. How about
Yeah.
you?
Is this
First thing.
pre Jurassic Park or post Jurassic Park?
I believe this is post Jurassic Park.
Let me quickly double check.
So I think Jurassic Park came out in 1990.
90, same year. Same
93?
93.
Hmm.
I need to know which one of these films came out first
Yeah,
now
yeah.
because that would be crazy. July and
But they released this in February.
July. They came out the same month.
What?
Super
Oh
Mario
my God.
Bros. Is the 9th of July, and Jurassic Park is the 16th of July. This film came out a week before.
Man.
That's why it made no money. The highest grossing film of all time at the time came out a week later.
Yeah. And is significantly better in every field.
Yeah. I mean, but to be fair, the dinosaurs look good.
Yeah, the effects did not though.
Yeah. Okay, cool.
Even for the time.
Can I give you what I think? This is no, I know what my favorite thing of the film is. I think Mario and Luigi are well cast.
Sure.
I think they're a lot of fun. John Leguizamo, it was weird because I was going to watch John Wick 4 today, and before that I've only ever seen John Wick 1. I watched John Wick 1, 2, and 3 this past few days, and then I just watched John Wick 4 now. So
I
I've
haven't
just
seen John Wick 3. Do I need to see 3 to understand 4?
uh, uh,
I watched the first 40 minutes of John Wick
it's
3.
fine. It's like it's not a big deal. Like you don't need a plot for these films.
That's true.
No, actually, John Wick. Yeah, you don't need John Wick 3 really. That's the one you can skip out of all of them. Uh, and it's just funny that I went John Leguizamo because he's in John Wick as well. But I like John Leguizamo, and I think he's funny here. And I think the Mario has some really funny moments as well. And I think he fits the vibe they're going for well.
You know what?
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna quickly, just very quickly, take us off track.
Mm-hmm.
For the 52-week Film Talk Challenge, which if you haven't been watching it, it's essentially a series we're doing on TikTok with a bunch of other creators where we all watch a certain category of movies every week and then we talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
This week we have to watch a movie with our least favorite actor. I don't know who my least favorite actor is. I don't think I have one.
Yeah.
I might just choose somebody from this movie.
Who do you can't choose John Leguizamo?
No, I can't. Like I've never really liked it, but I should just choose a bad actor from this movie
Sure.
because I don't know. I don't know. I don't know who my least favorite actor is. I like most actors.
What's Dallas Buyers Club on? Because that's the film I have to watch, I think.
Oh, I don't know.
It's not on
Okay,
any.
but anyways, that's gonna be a good movie. I think that's a
Yeah.
really good movie.
Yeah. That's why I want to watch it.
Anyways, yeah, John Leguizamo and Bob Hoskins are both good in this movie.
Yeah. How do you feel about the age gap? Because for those of you who haven't seen the film, which I'm sure is most of our listeners, Mario, they are brothers, but Mario raised Luigi because they lost their parents.
I don't mind it personally.
I think it makes sense, you know?
I don't think it doesn't make sense. It's
Mhm.
like there are just like some things in this movie that they just change for change and like it's just what it is. Like why shouldn't like Goombas be like dinosaurs. Like it doesn't make sense, but they did it for this movie, and it's like, fine, whatever. This is a different universe, and this is another thing where I was like, sure, if that's the way they're taking it. That's the way they're taking it.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
What?
Um, I like their like Brooklyn Italian plumberness. Like I think they got that aspect of the character pretty well.
Yes, they did. They really did. They focused a lot on it.
And it's silly and I like it.
This entire movie is silly, and it's not for one moment trying to be serious.
Yeah, exactly.
Um, I don't know. That's a bad thing. I can't talk
I
about
think
that.
like if we were sorting all the films we've talked about into categories, there'd be stuff like our big blockbusters, which are bad, which like Fantastic Four, like
Fan Four
Spider.
Stick, you mean?
Yes,
Okay, good.
like film, yeah, like Fant Four Stick, the two Star Wars films we've spoken about, Batman and Robin, Morbius, like stuff like
Mhm.
that. And then there's like the niche weird films like Mac and Me and like He's All That and that sort of thing. And I don't know which category this falls under. Is this like a weird niche little film or is it an attempt at a big blockbuster? Like I genuinely can't tell watching this film because it's so weird.
Well, it definitely was an attempt at a big blockbuster.
Yeah, but it ended up being in the niche little thing category. I'm gonna look up the
Yeah.
budget of this.
Oh, it had to be astronomical.
Oh my, that's more than I
Uh,
was expecting.
what? How much was
48
it?
million.
How much did Jurassic Park cost to make?
Good question. 63.
Interesting.
So this cost a third less.
Look at you, Mr. Math. Doopy doopy doo.
Wow, I
Um,
didn't know Spider-Man 3 had a $250 million budget. Anyway,
yeah.
so
Um,
yeah. What do you
um,
what do you think my
that,
favorite thing about this film is? Have you got any guess? Because you're not gonna be able to guess it.
uh, the Goomba playing the harmonica.
No.
Oh, shucks. That was my favorite part. I think my favorite part of this movie is when the Toad Goomba comes back with a plate of vegetarian food. That
It's
was
like,
very sweet.
yeah. My favorite part of this film is whenever Mario's plumbing nemesis gets mentioned, he just goes, Scapelli. Like it's genuinely funny and it got me every time. My favorite one is like this bit is in my bad for different reasons. When Luigi and Daisy are in the dig site and then everything's flooding and she's like, oh, thank God you're here, you're a plumber, you know what to do. And he turns around and he goes, I know exactly what to do. And then he runs back home to Mario, which it must be like a 20-minute journey. Then he runs back, which is a whole different thing. But he runs into the room. I wrote down what he said because it made me laugh. He said, I he runs into the house and he goes, Scapelli's flooding the site. And then Mario turns around, already holding his tools, and he just looks off into the distance and goes, Scapelli. And it comes up later when King Cooper's like, oh yeah, one of your guys like drilled into our world. And then he just looks off into the distance again and goes, Scapelli. It's just funny that Mario is a little plumbing nemesis.
They're it would be so strange. Try to think of any other things that like um
What are you trying to think of?
more things I actually liked about this movie.
I've got quite a long list. I'm going to be completely honest with you.
Okay, go, okay, rattle them off for me.
There's another joke is when they go when they're searching for plumbers and they go, you guys are plumbers, and then Luigi goes, I'm not a plumber, I'm just an apprentice. That's a good joke. I like the photo mugshot scene.
Oh
So
yeah.
these guys are getting their mugshot And what happens is they're like hanging upside down and they're chained up, Mario and Luigi. And then these red dots appear and slowly drift onto their forehead. And they obviously think they're going to get shot in the head, but then a photo just gets taken and they look terrified. And I think that's funny. I think that was a good joke.
Yeah,
Do you not agree?
it was fine. I think a lot of this, like, I think within like the first 5 minutes, my brain was like, okay, we're turning my brain off for this. And then I just somehow made it through the entire thing.
Um, I I quite like the Mario and Luigi costumes they get at the end.
Yeah, even though it's the most lazy thing ever.
Yeah, like I don't like how they get them, but I think they look good. And I think for this kind of because this is kind of it's a gritty but wacky like retelling of Mario, I think is how you would word it.
Yeah.
And I think these fit into that world.
They do fit into I think if you just showed me their suit, like the character designs, without seeing the movie, I'd be like, that's awful. I don't like the way those look.
Mm-hmm.
But when they're surrounded by the world, it doesn't feel out of place.
Yeah.
And also it's the only thing that's slightly comic, like that's slightly like accurate to the video games.
Yeah, you about to say comic book accurate, weren't you?
Yeah, I was.
Yeah. Okay. I've got two more funny lines from Mario. I just found him funny.
Okay.
I was so sleep deprived when I watched this, and I wasn't 100% sure if I'd lost my mind and was enjoying it far too much.
When did you watch it?
Um, when?
Yeah.
Last night.
Oh, see, I watched it first thing when I woke up in the morning.
Yeah, we were in completely different heads. I was so tired as well. I was like, I need to go to bed, and I was like, I'm gonna watch Mario, and I just started watching it. I watched all of it, and I was like, this is like, I felt like I'd just taken a bunch of drugs, and
That's a way to do this movie.
yeah. When there's a bit where Mario is hanging and Luigi's holding onto him, and then Mario goes, "I'd high five you, but you'd be an only child," and I'm like, that's a good line.
I don't get that.
You don't get it
No.
because he's holding onto it. If they high five, he's gonna fall.
Oh, right. Okay.
And then there's another bit when Princess Daisy is initially being kidnapped. And they're chasing after them, and Luigi goes, "I'm gonna kill them." And then Mario goes, "No, you're not. I'm gonna break every bone in their body, and then I'm gonna kill them." I'm like, I like Mario. Yeah. Do you think there's gonna be any reference to this film in the new Mario film?
I really hope not. I legitimately think, given the fact that it is wiped off the place, like the planet in the US, I think Nintendo wants to make this movie forgotten. There's not even. Wow, that's so interesting.
There's not a Nintendo logo on there.
No, there is no mention of Nintendo anywhere on here.
So I think unequivocally, without getting into this category, the worst thing about this film is the effect it has had on Nintendo. Because of this film, Nintendo is incredibly protective of their characters, and that's why there's like the only Nintendo film I can think of are all the Pikachu ones, which are from a TV show, and then Detective Pikachu. Like that's it before this movie. And I was talking about this today. I'm gonna have to say it was with Will because that's how this podcast works.
Yes, it is.
Mario, Nintendo, if they tried, they would have conquered the video game to film adaptation world by now.
Yeah.
Because no other gaming studio has so many marketable characters. No gaming studio comes close to the amount of if we could have had 10 Zelda films and like a Mario film and a Star Fox film and a Kirby film and there's so many Nintendo properties that would get good films. And I think just because of this film, Nintendo have been too scared to do it.
Yeah.
Like
I
no other gaming studio can make a fighting game with the premise being, oh, all our characters that you love are in this. And Nintendo have done that. Like they have a crazy amount of marketable characters, and there's no films for any of them apart from this.
yeah. Um I don't know a lot of the history
Mm-hmm.
regarding the aftermath
Of this film.
of this film.
Mm-hmm. There's a video for you.
There is a video for me. I can look back at that. I'm not gonna take notes now. But this movie lost a lot of money.
Yeah.
And um I don't know, it's just a shame because like they could have done something totally different. And if they did, I think the movie would have been way more successful.
Yes. And I think this Mario film looks like it's going to do well. Like, at the very least, it looks good. I think it looks good, and I think it will be good. But regardless of the quality, it's going to make money.
Yeah, for sure.
And then hopefully that means they'll go, oh, let's make a Zelda film and a or whatever else film and another Mario film, and they branch out and they get their stuff rolling.
Would you want a Zelda film live action
No,
or animated?
I I don't know. Zelda's difficult because your lead doesn't speak really. Like Link doesn't speak.
Black Adam did it fine.
Did it? Did it? Link doesn't speak. And I don't know if you want to keep that or you want to change that.
I feel like you'd have to change that because it would be a little bit strange.
I think you could do it. I know it's just because I've just watched these films, but you could do it a bit like John Wick, where he probably says like 10 words of film.
Yeah. I want a John Wick style Legend of Zelda movie.
Yeah. I think, you could do like Breath of the Wild. There's some really good stuff you could do with Zelda, I think. Do you remember when everyone was like Tom Holland and Zendaya?
Should we get into the bad?
Yes. Now we've got the biggest bad. Well, the biggest bad is King Koopa.
Mm-hmm.
Go on. What's on your bad?
My number one thing on my bad is how sexual this movie is. There are so many shots of just like boobs.
Yeah.
And it just blew my mind that there was so much. I'm like, why is this?
This is what it was like in the 90s, you know?
Yeah, I guess
not
so,
this
but
bad,
it's so peculiar.
Yeah.
Like, why would you even want that in a Mario Brothers movie?
It's a good point. Something for the dads, I guess.
Yeah, because I just want a straight up shot on Big Bertha's chest.
There were a lot of them. Okay. My bad. Just the world building. Like they present a world which I think could be interesting. I couldn't like pinpoint exactly why it doesn't work, but it doesn't.
Well, I think it automatically loses people because it's not Mario at all.
Yes, that's true.
That's the first thing. And I think another part where it falls apart is just there's really no sense of like what's going on. You go into a club, you don't really know where the club is. They're somehow in the desert, and there's no like lore that's built up around it anywhere. It says vote King Koopa everywhere, but he's already the king.
And you don't vote for kings. Yeah. And like it feels like it's one street and a few buildings and a bit of sand.
Right.
Yeah. That's true. And just the plot is just too I don't even want to say it's too complex. Because all the plot is that King Koopa wants to get a stone, and all Mario and Luigi want to do is save Daisy and whatever Mario's girlfriend's called and stop King Koopa. Like, the premise isn't complicated. but there's just so much going on to get
Right,
from A
because then you
to
have
B.
this subplot of King Koopa's cousins that are too stupid,
Yeah,
and then you have this subplot of Daisy and her family, and
yeah,
then you have the subplot of King Koopa's wife,
yeah.
and then you have the subplot of the other plumber, and then you have the subplot of
Scapelli.
Scapelli. There's so many things like it is a simple plot, but there's so many things going on that feels so scatterbrained that it doesn't make sense.
It would work. It would work if these things just came together a bit more, you know?
Right, but they don't.
They don't. Okay. Uh, what have you got on your bad?
Another thing I have on my bad, the boots. I don't like the boots.
No. Do I explain the boots to our listeners?
So a piece of technology that is in this other world, essentially like Iron Man boots, where you click your
Yeah.
well, not Iron Man boots, but they send you they let you fly.
Yeah, they also let
And
you do big jumps.
right, and so if you click your heels, you glide in the air.
Mm-hmm.
That's essentially it. Oh, there's another bad thing I want to talk about. They factor in like Mario's little like the bob bomb, is that what they're called?
Yeah.
And the bullet thing that you get in Mario Kart when you're
Bullet
in like
bill.
12th place.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I wouldn't know if you get in 12th place because I'm never in that spot when I play Mario Kart. Um, but but they work at him in such like a lazy way that it doesn't. I don't know, doesn't work for me.
Yeah, the bullet bill is literally just tiny little bullets in a gun, and
Yeah.
the bob bomb is like the size of a fist.
What about you?
Nothing. I thought this film was perfect. No, there's an awful chase scene. I wrote that down. I'm not 100% sure when it was.
Is it when they
Oh, it's
are
when they're
saved by the
running.
fungus?
No, it's in the car. It's when they're like driving away in the car and their face comes up on the screen and they end up in the desert.
Right, and they're saved by the fungus.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Sorry, I thought it was about when they later on get saved by the fungus.
Or when they get saved by the fungus in the beginning.
Yeah,
They get saved by the fungus a lot. Where do you think they got that idea? Where do you think the idea of, oh, fungus is Mario? We should use that.
well, I think that's the idea there. They're like mushrooms. Mario takes mushrooms to power up. What if we get mushrooms to help him? What if we get fungus to help him? What if the fungus is Princess Daisy's dad?
I think they're I don't I'm not sure, but I think this movie just went through so many rewrites that
Yeah.
it lost its meaning.
Every rewrite you lose like you go a further step away from Mario. And then
Yeah.
15 rewrites later, you're like, wait, what is this?
I wouldn't be surprised if that's what happened.
The Goombas are dumb. The de-evolution thing.
That is dumb.
Yeah, King Koopa is not performed well.
He's not, and also it's like the entire idea of his character is that he gets slightly devolved, right?
Yeah.
But I don't understand how that was important because he was still a reptilian creature, and if the devolving never happened, it would have still made sense why he was like that. His character never changed.
It's very true.
The only thing that happened is one time we saw his pupils dilate, and then one time when he got too passionate about his feelings towards Daisy, his face went all lizard-like for a second.
And he
If
got a really long tongue.
right, like if that never happened, if he like it would have, we would have still been like, oh right, because he is a reptile, so that makes sense.
Yeah. The whole reptile. I don't
And then it
know.
would have added a little bit of context of why he wanted to evolve people because he's a little bit devolved.
I do like a little bit. The very opening of this film, where it's like the really bad animation, and they're like, what if the asteroid that hit the Earth didn't kill everyone?
Oh, okay.
Do you not like that?
It's fine. I'm
Uh
trying to as we're going through the bad, I'm trying to think like what can we salvage from this movie?
I have an idea, but we'll get to that.
Okay.
I think the third act is so confusing.
Third act is very confusing.
Why do you know what my biggest hang up with this film is?
What?
Why at what stage in making a Mario film did they go, let's make this like a real strong metaphor for like anti dictatorship and like about the proletariat and anti-capitalism. And like I'm not saying I disagree with any of those things, but I'm just saying this is they do it in
It's
such
weird
a weird
for it to
way,
be in a Mario movie.
and it's such a weird place for it to happen. I mean, now we're saying this, who knows what's going to happen in the new one? But yeah,
I'm trying to see. Okay, so no, King Koopa is not Bowser.
is he not?
No. Well, there's like King Koopa, Super Mario Bros.
Oh yeah. I recognize King Koopa.
He like if you play the Smash Bros, he's the guy that like the big crocodile that can like throw his crown.
Yeah.
Why didn't they just make him Bowser?
I guess King Koopa just works more as a name.
Yeah, I guess. But it still doesn't make much sense to me.
No. Uh,
Okay.
okay.
What more bad things do you have?
I can't decide if I like the Daisy Luigi romance.
I wouldn't necessarily go on and say that's a bad thing.
It has moments which are bad and it has moments which are good.
Because like in a theory, like you have like Mario and Peach, so you might as well have Daisy and Luigi.
Yeah. And I like it's yeah. Yeah. And Louis Mario has his original girlfriend in this from the first game,
Oh, that's kind of interesting.
I think. I don't know if they actually name her that. She just looks like her.
Um,
It's like Pauline. That's it. Is that Pauline? Is that what she's called?
um,
I'm gonna check. You keep talking about stuff you don't like about this film.
that's
What else don't you like?
what else don't I like? So I was trying to figure out the question and answer. I don't like um oh my goodness.
Go on.
The music.
Yeah.
Not a big fan of the music in this. I think that's kind of an important thing.
Mm-hmm.
Um Also the effects. The effects aren't great in this movie.
Yeah.
And it's easy to defend. It's easy to like be like, well, it was made in 1993. It's yeah, like what can you do? But it's still like they still get like kind of obnoxiously lazy at points.
I get what you mean. Sorry to jump in.
No, please, the water's fine.
The so there isn't the girlfriend I thought it was. She's called something else. But in the
Um,
cast list, quite a bit down, there's someone labeled as King Bowser.
hmm.
I'm
Do we
gonna.
miss like an after credit scene?
I'm not in this day and age. I'm looking at images.
What are you looking at that on? IMDb or just a Google?
Yeah, IMDb. I don't recognize this scene. Oh, mate, I think it might be Daisy's dad.
Daisy's dad is Bowser?
Yeah. Is the idea that Daisy's mum is Peach, or did I just make that up?
That's what I assumed, but they never said anything.
Yeah, I think I made that. I mean, it would be a bit weird if Mario dated his brother's girlfriend's mum.
Yeah, but this movie, man. Okay.
Okay.
I think I had gotten over my glaring issues with this movie.
Yeah, me too.
So how do we fix this? What's your idea?
This is an out there pitch. It's unheard of on the Silver Lining. We've done this 24 times already. We have
Okay.
not done this. What if we just rename the characters in the film and then change the small plot details to make it work?
So we don't make it not a Mario Brothers movie.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
Because I think this is just too far gone. And especially in the 90s, I think making a Mario movie live action is just a large call. Like I don't understand how you're supposed to do that.
I agree, but it does feel like a little bit of a cop out.
Yeah. I think it's
So
still the same film though. We're just renaming stuff. I don't know. Is it yeah, maybe it is a cop out. I don't know. Just maybe in this world, Nintendo read the script and we're like, oh, we don't like this. And the studio were like, okay, let's just rename it.
other like IPs out that this would make more sense for?
That's a good question. Probably not.
Yeah, probably not. Well, because then they couldn't be plumbers. I think like there's some things we need to change for the search to be not like Mario at all.
Hmm.
Oh, I don't know. I don't know if I believe it. I think like that.
Well, no. If you watch this film, maybe you'd go, "Oh, these guys are brothers and they're plumbers." That's like Mario, but I think that's about it. Like, what else in this film, if you renamed everything, would make you go, "Oh, that's like Mario," apart from the plumbing thing?
Yeah. Okay. All right. Let's go with that. Let's scrap Mario and Luigi and all the names that make it similar to that.
Yeah,
What else do we change? Because there's things that still need to be retooled, even
yeah.
though we
I
did
think
this.
it's just figuring out, like, finding a neater way for things to happen in the dinosaur world.
Um, how do we? Hmm. I think. Okay, well, first let's outline the things that we need to change.
Yeah.
We need to change. Um, the King Koopa.
Mm-hmm.
He needs to be written better. However, that means. I think Daisy's arc, especially like how she gets like I don't know, because if that's Peach's, I don't. It's just tricky because even the movie's still bad.
Yes.
However, a lot of my complaints about the movie are that it's not like Mario,
Yeah.
but it's still a bad movie, even if we take that away.
Yeah. But then I think you'd forgive it a lot more for a lot of this really weird stuff.
That's true.
Like you wouldn't. I don't think you'd complain about the design of the Goombas or Yoshi because they're
We
just
like him,
weird, like creatures that live in this world that's been made up for this film.
right?
And like
Um,
the artificial fungus we keep in that. The sentient fungus.
I don't know. What do you think?
I don't. I think it needs to be retooled.
I think if they focused less on the fungus and more on the world,
Yeah.
that would make more sense. Or if anything, if the fungus was practically useless at the very end when we like it saves the day or something.
What if, like, when you get to the room, there's actually like a guy inside the fungus and he can talk?
I was expecting that to happen and I was kind of surprised it didn't.
Hmm.
Man, I don't think I've ever been as stooped as to how to fix a movie in this one.
Do you think?
I'm I am a stooped.
I was about to ask you something I asked you in our only unreleased podcast episode.
Hmm.
And that's to how many do you think you can name that we fixed?
How many?
We don't have, let's not do it now.
No, let's not do it now. I couldn't do it. I could probably do 10 of them.
You could do, yeah, I've got the list in front of me.
Um, I think the idea that I think an interesting arc would be Luigi goes in to save Daisy, but Mario doesn't go in to save Daisy. He goes in to save
Yeah.
his brother. And his entire arc of Mario wants to go back home and doesn't care about this planet,
Mm-hmm.
but Luigi wants to save Daisy.
Yeah.
And that's the idea.
Yeah.
And it especially comes to a head when they get the rock back. And he's like, and Mario's like,
No,
if we can
no,
go.
no, I don't want him in this film.
Oh, right. What are their names?
Hmm?
What are their Mario and Luigi's names?
David and Jeremy.
Kyle, David, and Jeremy. Okay. So,
Because they have to be a bit less Italian. You can't do it.
yeah, they're actually
You can't do
they're
Italian
Russian plumbers.
Yeah. You can't do what? Okay, what do you think a Russian plumber would sound like?
Hey, it's me. I'm a Russian.
No, that wasn't Russian.
What was that?
I forget.
Mm. What do you think a Russian plumber would sound like?
I want to fix your pipes. He's not Russian.
No, that's Dracula.
Dracula is
Dracula.
Russian.
Okay, I guess we don't know where Russia is.
Oh, it's so hard to find on a map, you know? I want to fix your pipe.
That's the tagline of this movie.
Do you know what the tagline? I think the tagline of this film is pretty good. Do you know what it is?
Yeah, I'm looking right at it.
Go on, read it for our audience.
Well, I hope it's the same one. Otherwise, it's
Go
going to
on.
be very strange.
Go on.
This ain't no game. It's
Yeah.
a live action thrill ride.
Oh no. All mine is this ain't no game.
Also, the Washington Post said that this is a blast. It is not.
Yeah, you need the Thanks for your input.
Yeah, I really offer some eye-opening insight.
That's another video for you right there.
And also it says 60-second previews and it's eye-popping special effects.
I think that's true. Like, there's
Yeah,
if you were alive in 1993, it's a week before you watched Jurassic Park.
You would see this and want to gouge your eyes
No,
out.
I think you would see the special effects. You'd be like, oh, that's pretty good. I think you'd think the special effects of this film are good if you haven't seen Jurassic Park yet and it's 1993.
Yeah, I guess. Still really don't like it though.
Jurassic Park is a turning point. And then you'd feel real stupid a week later when you're writing your review for Jurassic Park.
Yeah.
I need to read that full. Anyway, how are we fixing this film? So we need to stop. We're just going off topic because we don't want to talk about it.
I like the idea of Mario being at odds with Luigi. I think we should do that.
Yeah, you need a conflict in this film other than let's save. Yeah.
We scrap the wife arc.
The wife arc.
Koopa's
okay.
wife.
Yeah.
I think honestly we can get rid of her character entirely.
Yeah.
She's
not even anyone from Mario, is she?
I don't think so.
No.
We scrap. I think we might even be able to get rid of the twin, like the cousins.
Do you know the wife is
From Harry Potter?
Yeah.
Yeah. I noticed because I'm like, why does she look so familiar?
I don't know if I like the cousins or not.
They just offer a lot of side plot that I'm not interested in.
Yeah, fair enough. We can drop them.
Um, and so we do those two. And I think that cuts down our runtime a good lot, but we get a lot of more conflict with Mario and Luigi.
Yeah.
Um, and I think it would be interesting if because they don't really at the end of the day, they don't really use their plumbing to their advantage, right?
No, they changed the heating in the
Right.
do so. Okay, here's how you fix it. You turn because they're lizards, they're warm, they're cold blooded. They need to be in the warm.
Uh-huh.
You turn off the heating and it weakens all of them, and then you can just go and bam, bam, beat them all up
Right.
like that.
Let's do that. Say bam bam.
Yeah, how they do it.
Um, bam bam.
Yeah, correct. Just checking.
Okay, so if we keep it like that, and I think it would also be helpful if they so if we get rid of the cousins, they're still trapped in the desert.
Mm-hmm.
Well, how do they even get to the desert?
How are we fixing the world building in this? You need. Okay, this is what you need. Okay, I figured it out.
All right.
You put Peach in this film, but obviously not. You put a woman in this film who lives on this world and is in charge of like the underground revolution.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Because when Mario and Luigi get to the Mushroom Kingdom, you need a point of view character. There are point of view characters. You need someone to explain what's going on around them and be like, oh, we're here because of, this, and like
Hmm.
this is like what's happened here, and this is why everything's like the way it is, and this is this place, and this is this place. And if you like put an underground revolution, someone who they want to help Mario and Luigi, I think that will work.
And if Peach was the one who dropped off Daisy,
Yeah.
or how about we scrap that?
What, that she's a dinosaur woman.
No, scrap that Peach dropped off Daisy. I think it would make more sense if are Daisy and Peach related in the
No,
video games? They're not related.
not as far as I'm aware. It would be weird because
We could make it a thing similar to Luke and Leia, not exactly, but like that they are siblings from like different parts of with two different lives, and like the mom dropped off Daisy in one world and kept Peach in the other one, so that they could together bring it like save the world or something like that.
I think you are now overcomplicating an already complicated film. I don't think the Daisy stuff's complicated. I think you can just say, I'm your older sister. You because you had this stone, you were dropped off in the real world.
Right. I'm just thinking because if we introduce Peach in this movie,
It's not Peach, but yeah.
what did I say?
No, I'm saying it's not Peach because no one is called that in these films. In this film,
Right.
we're changing all the names.
Oh, right. Um, I don't. It would be odd just to introduce her and not like because we're getting rid of the cousins, which means there's going to be it cuts out at least 30 minutes of the runtime. So how do we fill that?
I mean,
And
it could be a 90-minute film.
what?
Could be a 90-minute film.
It is a 90-minute film.
No, it's not. It's 110.
Oh, well,
Double check the runtime.
Google lied to me.
I'm the film I watched was longer.
Oh, it's a 104.
140, yeah, 145. So I mean, yeah, I think you cut out that the revolution stuff and the explaining of the world, it'll probably be a 90-minute film.
Yeah.
And she
Okay.
like helps them Well, first they like help them sneak out, and they're like, "Oh, you need to come back and get the diamond." I don't know. There's so much faff in the middle of this film.
There's a lot
There's
of faff.
so much of the film is them leaving the city and then having to come back. And if you get rid of that, it's like a half-hour long film.
Well, I think maybe what they could do is um they so Mario and Luigi escape the prison. They go to the underground revolution. Blah 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 blah. Mario and Luigi know where the rock is.
Yeah,
So they guide the revolution back to Big Bertha's place. And then Mario is able to get Luigi and Mario get the rock while the other revolution is fighting, and they run away. And then they have a big fight of Mario's like, we can go back home. We need to go back home. And then Luigi's like, no, we need to save Daisy and for the revolution here. Mario's like, why would we care? That doesn't bother us. And then um I think there needs to be like a so one way we put more runtime is freeing the entire prison.
yeah.
Um
I
I think
do
that would
I do quite like the bit where Mario discovers that his girlfriend's locked up there as well.
mm.
And then he mentioned his name and he went, "Oh yeah, I promised I was gonna take her to WrestleMania." And then she goes, "You don't know." I think it's funny that Mario and his girlfriend are going to WrestleMania. I think that's cute.
um I think we could still have like that because like I'm thinking like the chicken coop cage
Yeah.
that they were all in.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I will actually, I think that needs to happen before they get the rock. Well,
Yes. Okay.
because I think the freeing the prison needs to be Mario or David's response. Like that needs to be like his reason, like, oh, maybe I should help out these people.
Yeah.
So would that make more sense for him to do after he gets the rock or before?
Before, no, I don't know. What do you think?
Hmm. Well, I'm trying to think about so let's say he frees the prison and then he gets the rock.
Yeah.
When he gets the rock, he has to be convinced to say.
Mm-hmm.
So would he like have like a moment of being like, we should leave? Oh, but what about the people you helped? Or would it make more sense if he gets the rock and then Luigi's like, we need your help to free the prison, and he has to choose either the rock or freeing the people?
But what about when does he discover that his girlfriend's there? Because surely that will make him stay out of the way.
Right. Maybe we could just say that the wife is in the chicken coop prison,
Yeah.
and then he hears like a David, help me or something in the background, and then he's like da da da, and then he saves the day, and then he's like, I think that would make more sense.
That does make more sense. Let's go with that.
Okay, yeah, let's do that. Okay,
Sikaz brother.
is that it? Did we fix it?
Yeah.
All right,
At
we
this point,
pause.
if we haven't, then too bad. So we have figured out how to fix this film, and we are now going to share that information with all of you. Harlan has it
Yes.
for us. Take it away, young man.
All right, so for starters, we scrap all things Mario and just make it about two plumbers named David and Jeremy. It follows the same plot until they fall into the second dimension where they're introduced to Toad, but his name's not Toad, so we're going to call him Kyle, who is a member of the rebellion. And he tries to, and wait, what I call him? Kyle? Yeah.
Yeah,
Kyle
sure.
tries to brief David and Jeremy about the rebellion, but it's too late because they get arrested. However, David and Jeremy are able to break out of the prison, and right when they do that, they are met with the rebellion because they were going to save Kyle. Um, They then get in-depth briefing about the Underworld Rebellion and the King's Rule, which kind of builds up the world building. David and Jeremy bring the rebellion to Big Bertha's place because she has the stone that they need. And then they get the rock and they try to escape. However, David and Jeremy are in like a moral dispute against whether or not they should leave. David doesn't see any reason why they should help these people, but Jeremy has found a love for them. But right at that moment, David hears a cry of his girlfriend in the prison. And so then he's like, okay, we need to save these people. And then the rebellion, David and Jeremy saved the chicken coop prison. And at that moment, David's kind of like, okay, Luigi, Jeremy, I will join you on this adventure. Um, and then they break into the king's tower, amp down the heat to make all the reptiles weaker. However, in the final battle with the king wins. Mario is down on the ground. It seems like this is it. The devolved gun is pointed at Mario's head. And right before the king pulls the trigger, a mushroom crab goes out of nowhere thanks to the sentient fungus. David uses it as a shield. The devolved gun deflects and hits the king. The king devolves. So he drops the gun. David picks up the gun, devolves the king all the way back into goo, and then they win.
Sick. What would you give the original movie, Super Mario Bros., out of 10?
4.
Yeah, like a 3 or a 4. Oh, I kind of loved it.
And what do you give our movie?
What would you rate our movie? I think my main issues with the last one was the world building, which we fixed with this rebellion thing, and the link to Mario. So I think it's like a 6 or a 7.
I give it like a 6.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. So that is all. Before we end, let's answer another listener's question because we've got a few to get through.
Okay.
Let me just find wherever I wrote them down because I actually don't know where I wrote them down. You
What a
know,
scoundrel.
I should be so on top of these things, but I'm not. You know, and
Expecting more from you.
I've got so many notes on my phones. Here we go. Okay. What are your top 3 directors? This is by Milo.628.
My top 3 favorite are Denis Villeneuve.
Mm-hmm.
Um
Damien Chazelle.
Damien Chazelle, easy.
I don't know what my third would be. So mine are gone. What's your third?
No, I'm not sure yet. You go and
So
see.
Edgar Wright, Damien Chazelle. At third, I'm
I'll
gonna
go
look.
Edgar Wright as my third.
Okay. Oh, now you're pressuring me into saying Denis Villeneuve. Maybe Jordan Peele.
Okay, I respect that.
Yeah, I'd go Edgar Wright, Damien Chazelle, Jordan Peele in that order, from best to worst.
All right. Mine is from best to worst as well.
Yeah, Denis Villeneuve, Damien Chazelle. Yeah, Damien Chazelle, both of our seconds.
He's great.
He's solid.
But Babylon
Okay.
was okay.
Yeah. What are we? What? No idea what we're doing next week. Who knows?
Daredevil, right?
That's the week after.
Oh.
Have you been
Oh.
rushing through it?
No, I have not, actually.
Okay.
I haven't started.
I've watched one episode. We got 2 weeks to watch Daredevil.
Yeah, we'll be fine.
So next week, we'll figure it out. You know.
Yes, we will. Oh,
Yes.
yes, we will.
Okay.
Never mind. Never mind.
Oh, I just figured it out.
What?
The plumbers are Italian. Mamma mia!
Oh!
Pie. Oh, mamma mia! Hey. Adios, guys.
God! Bye, guys.
See you next week. Bye.